like I'm a baby producer. I'm like a kind of a producer, which probably is just a thing for like women in general and like so many creative fields, is that when we're like learning, or even when we're not learning and maybe we've been doing it for a while, we find it so hard to kind of stand with confidence and say, oh, this is me, I can do this. Hi KLAT, I'm Laura Dia, and this is my Get to Know Me with KLAT. I'd say first and foremost, being Nigerian is kind of the core and basis of my creativity and artistry. You know, having a creative mum who's Nigerian, introducing me to kind of iconic people like Fela Kuti, African music, traditional music, that's always inspired such a deep sense of love for music, and also the type of creativity that exists in Africa. That soulfulness of wanting to tell your story is kind of, the start of all my music. And then again, growing up in Ireland as well as another very creative and then also traditional place, which really helped to kind of encourage that creativity, you know, hearing stories of old, same with Nigeria that has those links, hearing old stories, traditional stories, it definitely helps with kind of sparking the imagination. And then later on again, moving to Bristol and then growing up here, Bristol's just a place that's filled with so much culture in general. So it's really helped to open my eyes and open my ears to all these different worlds. So I think, just the mix of basically being from such a multicultural background, having Nigeria there, having Ireland there, and then also coming to Bristol where there's lots of cultures mixed in, has helped to, bring a multitude of experiences to my creativity and just, wanting to explore anything possible. I'd say firstly, I didn't think it was possible. You didn't really hear, well, when I was younger, I didn't hear a lot about female producers. But I'd say when I started kind of looking for people to help me, no one really got my sound or like made things that was similar to how I wanted it to sound. So I kind of thought, okay, I need to take things into my own hands. If I want to make something like how I hear it in my head, I'm going to have to try and be independent. So that was, me looking at covers on YouTube, looking at any resources I could and just trying to figure it out. I was at uni at the time. I was like, let me buy my MacBook and just, dig into it. So, that was my first relationship, my first heartbreak ever. And I think before that, when I'd write songs, it was always from a place of assuming how things felt and assuming how love felt and how breaking up with someone felt. But I think that was a point where I actually had like first-hand experience to really tap into my vulnerability to be able to share that side of me. Because before, I guess I didn't know how to, really get to that point and how to be vulnerable. But after that, first relationship experience when you're a teenager, it really made me see, okay, I can really share my feelings with people and people could relate to that and somehow help. And it also helped me learn a lot of things about myself as well, which I thought was important to be able to share with people. Piano is definitely my first love and kind of my main instrument. So a lot of the time, especially when I started writing, piano was the thing that I'd write on, and it's still what I gravitate towards. But I really like guitar as it has a kind of different feeling to piano. So sometimes when I have that need for a more light thing or something that sounds a bit more, I don't know, like fun maybe, then I'd lean towards guitar. But I feel piano, because again, it's like a big instrument, it's loud, it's really deep. It really calls for those kind of deep emotional moments when I'm feeling a bit emo. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go on the piano, I'm gonna bang some keys, and But I'd say I don't prefer any at the moment, but piano was my first, so I'm gonna lean towards that. This is always such a hard question, but I always like the idea of reading people's minds, and I think it's because I have such like a desire and a need to just understand people and connect with people. I always feel like if I understand, like how people are deep down, or like what they like or what their fears are, then like we could all just be like nicer to each other. But I'd say how I'd use it, I feel like I'll probably like related to music somehow. I'd like reading everyone's minds in the world and be like, everyone's feeling this way, I'm gonna write a song about this and help everyone. So I'd probably use it that way. I'd hope that I wouldn't use it for anything, you know, bad. Tapping into people's minds like, oh, what's their PIN number? Joking. But yeah, I'd say like my first thought would just be to understand people more deeply. I'd say the main like struggle with when I was just developing as a producer was just the confidence to be able to say that I do it. Like I think back then when I'd like describe myself or write my bio, I'd be like, oh, like I'm a baby producer, I'm like a kind of a producer, which probably is just a thing for like women in general and like so many creative fields, is that when we're like learning, or even when we're not learning and maybe we've been doing it for a while, we find it so hard to kind of stand with confidence and say, oh, this is me, I can do this. So I think that was the main thing, just to even be able to tell people that I do it. But obviously when you're alone in your space, it's all fine and good, but kind of getting that out there and trusting that what I made was good enough to share, that was like a big hurdle, but eventually got over it, and with the help of a friend who was like a mixing engineer, once he could like get in there and kind of make everything tidy, then I was like, okay, yeah, I can kind of do this. I'd say when I first got my radio play on, it was Future Soul, Victoria Jane, shout out her. I think it was a really big moment for me because I was still quite fresh in music. But again, it helped me with that confidence, that self-belief, that like, oh, something that I've made myself is good enough to be on national radio. And yeah, I think from there, it helped me to connect with other people in the R&B scene, discovering that. And again, with the Isle of Wight competition, again, it was something that made me realize and gave me more of that confidence to say like, oh, you've got something where you can get to this stage of a competition. And it was an environment where at that specific, my location, it was for the region, I was the youngest person there, so like having these like older people who'd been in the game for a long time saying like, oh, like you're great, like you should keep going, it definitely made me feel, just more secure in what I've got, and helped me like develop that live confidence, and just knowing that even though I was starting out and doing it by myself, I still, was able to do cool things. I don't want to go for like an obvious one. I feel like a lot of people would say this, but I feel since I have the option of living or dead, it'd have to be Michael Jackson, because he, just like artistry on all levels, as a businessman, as an artist, as a creator, dancer, all of those things, I'd love to even just be in the room when he's doing anything, because I feel like I'd learn so much. And also just his style in vocal arrangement and how he records inspires me a lot as well. So that would definitely be someone dead. And just to add someone alive, it'd be Beyonce. I always mention her and everything, so Beyonce would definitely be someone, hopefully in the near future. Beyonce, if you want to work with me, I'd love it. But yeah, it'd be great. Interesting tale, actually. I always wanted to be a singer, like ever since I was young, but there's a time where I thought, oh, like being a singer, being a musician isn't that attainable. So I really wanted to be a doctor, because I just wanted to help people like in any way that I could. So I'd say if I couldn't be a musician, I would be doing that or something similar. I really enjoy kind of the healthcare field, just being able to bring joy to people's lives in some way, especially people who are suffering or don't have that much joy in their life. If there's a way that I could add to that, then that would be definitely be something. Just the kind of 7 years studying, I'm not sure how I feel about that. But yeah, maybe something related to that, maybe if I didn't have to spend most of my life at university. I'd say self-love and like healing kind of is something that I'm really passionate about, just kind of connecting to who I truly am at my core, kind of getting rid of anything that stops me from kind of loving in the best way that I can. And I feel like, especially as an artist, so much of what you do is kind of giving of yourself and sharing that love with other people, and also sharing yourself authentically. So that like journey of kind of, you know, healing and self-love and connecting to myself, it's definitely helped me to tap into what I truly want to say as an artist. Because, you know, when you're starting out, it's a lot of that kind of pouring out of your own emotions and like kind of that ego feeling of like, oh, I'm sad and now I'm gonna write it down. But I think definitely healing has helped to kind of lean more into topics that could actually not only be of benefit to me and just like venting out to people and hoping people hear it, but something that through my learning could help other people as well. Like one of my songs on my EP, Fear Plus Avoidance, is about one of the attachment styles, and just my hope for that, even though it's helped me, is that other people could hear that and recognize, oh wait, I kind of have these, you know, fears around love as well, or this is how I could work around it, or maybe research more into it. So yeah, I'm just hoping that with my growth, it could help other people grow as well. I feel like it changes, but right now, I don't know if this is weird, I really like nuts, right? I have to blame my mum because she loves cashews, walnuts, and roasting them and all things like that. So literally anything that I'm doing, I'd always have like a little pot of like seasoned nuts, because when you buy them, they're plain, it's not nice. But you know, after you like season them and everything, they're good. Do you know what's funny, right? I feel like I haven't really had celebrity crushes. Like a guy that like I fancied. But I feel like I have celebrity crushes in terms of like, especially female artists that I look up to, that they're like really bossing it right now. So I'd say shout out Victoria Monet, because I feel like she's my celebrity crush in terms of like, just the way, the swagger that she has, the work that she puts into her artistry, the recent music video that she released, the All Right music video, it just inspires me in so many ways. So I feel like those are people that I latch onto. No offense to the guys in music, like you guys are good, but no one's really catching my eyes. I feel like the girls are really taking it right now. So yeah, Victoria Monet for right now. I'm working on my next, I'm gonna say EP project. That's like a vague term for it because I'm not really sure how it's gonna be released yet. But I'm really excited about, the music that I'm making for that right now, because it's definitely another level of depth and vulnerability, and just, better singing all around. And also have some new music coming out as well with a Norwegian band, which would be really cool. But that's a collaboration project, so that's something else I think would be also kind of very different from what I'm making now, but it'd still be cool to tap into.